A timid military captain lives in a nation where wars rage without pause. His frequent retreats have caused his men to nickname him Captain Craven. This morning, he walks around the base and orders his men to prepare for combat. Daily, the captain finds himself mediating quarrels among his hot-blooded men. And yet, he never treats them as anything other than his trusted fellows. After finishing his rounds, the captain restores a temporary discipline. Earlier, a young boy had volunteered for combat so he could avenge his parents. But concerned for the boy's well-being, the captain had turned down his proposal. Dark clouds gather as they ready for combat, matching the captain's mood. With several units in tow, the captain and his army march for the enemy camp. Their goal is to annihilate the enemy, and if possible, locate the missing boy. As always, his orders are cautious. The safety of his men is overriding concern. As planned, another team initiates a feint attack to draw attention. Cautiously, the captain moves into the enemy camp. Familiar blade protrudes from a hole in his chest. He knows this sword. The missing boy had pointed it at him the night before. But the boy is nowhere to be found, and the captain knows he is in grave danger. He stares at the scene before him and whispers, "Have I failed again?" Years ago, the cowardly captain was but a meager foot soldier. He possessed the arrogance of youth and often butted heads with his commanders. After one intense battle, he found himself searching for any surviving comrades. The first corpse he found was a senior officer who used to bark orders at him. The next, a fellow soldier with whom he often fought. He had done this. He had ignored orders and brought his squadron to ruin. As he cursed himself, he found a survivor, an officer whom he had often mocked. The officer closed his eyes, let out a final blackened breath, and died. This is all your fault!
You're always so selfish.
Take a little break, why don't you?
You killed all of us.
I'm glad you survived. Those words would haunt the young soldier for the rest of his days. 8 years later, though fearful at the thought of losing his men, he continued on as a soldier. He now attempts to atone for his mistakes by ensuring no one else has to die. skips a beat. It is like seeing himself some 8 years ago. I will do whatever I must to save him. With that thought in mind, the captain reaches down for the injured boy. The captain hauls the boy onto his back and starts making his return to the base. Despite the danger, he continues issuing orders remotely as they travel. He will not rest until every last one of his men is seen safely out of harm's way. Suddenly, the boy on his back emits a small groan. In a thin voice, he admits his error and apologizes for his selfish actions. Though he managed to save the boy, the captain has taken a most grievous wound. If another enemy were to find them now, he likely will not be able to fend them off. Pushing aside the pain, he continues his march. I'll protect you all. You stay put. I'll protect you all.
It's all your fault.
No. I won't repeat the mistakes of the past. I'll find a way to save every last man.
Your arrogance is killing our allies.
I am a different man now. No one will die on my watch. And if that comes at the cost of my own life, so be it. Not good! Too easy. Let's try this. The captain is reaching his physical limit. He will leave no man behind. He will let no man die. It is a naive belief, yet it keeps him going. Soon, another enemy force appears to bar their way. The captain stares them down, placing his own body between them and his young charge. Suddenly, the rest of his squad appears. Breaths are held. Fingers lie tense on weapons. One false move will mean a slaughter. Finally, after a long moment, the enemy retreats. The squad had come to their captain's aid. Miraculously, they have all survived the mission. With his eyelids heavy, he murmurs to the boy, "I'm glad you survived." His men, the family he built at the cost of his pride, have saved him. They pick the boy up and begin to tease him, saying he's lucky to be alive. The boy responds with a dry smile, the first time any of them remember him doing so. The sound of their laughter rings out happily across the desolate battlefield.